Over the weekend, we said we was going to do a video looking at Elliot Anderson and how he passed the test and his audition that he had going head-to-head up against Casemiro at the City Ground at the weekend. Now, Elliot Anderson's been in incredible form this season, and in the last few weeks, we've seen almost like a rebirthing of Casemiro. Casemiro that now looks like he can handle the role that is being asked from him. And we saw Elliot Anderson come away from his audition looking like a player that a lot of United fans went, I'll have a bit of that. So this is the case for Elliot Anderson to be the Casemiro replacement. Now, we have seen both versions of Casemiro at United. The one that was forced to chase shadows, the one that had a high pressing, high sprinting role, and now the one that Ruben Amorim has recalibrated in the last few weeks. The rest defence anchor. He's not a roving destroyer. He's the one that wins first contact, screens the D, attacks set plays. And that role change for me is everything. It shortens the sprints, it maximises his reading of the game, and it lets his passing range matter more than his top speed. And that's why he's a core piece back in the starting 11. And against Forest, the exact midfield that we all thought, myself included, he was probably going to struggle against, he came away passing that test. Forest had 41% possession. They went early into the channels. They went long from the goalkeeper. They did things that really should have dragged Casemiro out of place. But Casemiro's response was on the air, on the restarts, keep the ball moving. He scores from a corner, which is like a footnote in everything else, really. He has 3 key passes. He's playing long balls out into the channel, and he does all the ugly stuff as well. Clearances, blocks, interceptions, tackles. It was a really, really solid performance from him. And that Forest game shown us what we're missing. We saw the stress point within the system. It wasn't new. Weak side backstick defending, something that we've kind of struggled with for a little bit. And there was still maybe a little bit of a lack of energy in midfield. Casemiro tired towards the end, and obviously the clock is ticking on when he will move on. So Elliot Anderson's audition. If you watch the game without any sort of pre-bias, Anderson was outstanding in the messy parts of his match as well. 45 out of 61 passes, 14 duels total, 7-1, 10 on the ground, 4 in the air. 90 minutes of being available. He was combative. He was tidy in the exact channels that Forest attacked from. That's the job description of what Casemiro is doing right now in this Manchester United midfield. Win the second ball, cover and screen the wing-back lane, connect play quickly so the likes of Bruno and the front line can keep us on the attack. And I think a lot of us went, yes. This is a very easy sort of play. You look at some profiles of player and you go, United don't really have that role. We don't really play that sort of player. Elliot Anderson at the moment is almost like the younger version of what Casemiro is doing right now. So you zoom out from that game and you look at the player profile that matches our needs. He is a versatile number 8 box-to-box player that can play deeper. He is mobile. He is a combative presser. He has got a strong passing base. Against United, it was low. Maybe that was deliberate. Maybe that's a new thing we have to take into account. Now he's playing for Sean Dyche. He's typically in the 85 to 90%. Yeah? So this was a low game for him in terms of pass completion. He has a meaningful defensive output. He's often intercepting and making a lot of tackles. And there is no hype. He is engine, he is connection, he is bite, rather than like, a highlight reel of goals and assists. And that's exactly what we need in the 2 in this system. He comes with the sort of grown-up football bits that I think Amorim likes. Availability, repeat sprints, the willingness to do the unglamorous sort of rotations, especially towards the back post zone. That's how you close the door on the patterns that hurt us away at Forest. Now, Andy Mitten dropped a line this morning. There's a lot of noise about his price, between 100 and 120 million, which I think is mental, but we've covered that already, so I won't cover all ground with that. The direction of travel is real with this one. Andy Mitten, speaking on Talk of the Devils, said that Anderson is the midfielder who'd be well positioned to join United right now. Translation on that, I think that the interest is genuine and the pathway makes sense for both him and Manchester United. I think that's what he's saying, at least anyway. Forest signed him permanently, only in 2024, on a deal until 2029. There is no release clause, so it is a negotiation and not a trigger. But it's another reason that they've thrown that price out early. 100, 125, 100 million, 120 million. That's to let you know we're up for selling him, but he will not be cheap. Football fit, club positioning. United are very well suited to what Anderson could bring. And I think we would be able to take his game to the next level. I think Anderson could actually change some of the pitches that we see in midfield. Already mentioned, I think he would shut off a little bit of that weak side door. When we're playing in that 3-2 sort of rest defence, the far side has to anticipate a switch, has to crash the back post and support the players in that sort of area, not after it. Anderson already does that. He does that quite a lot at Forest at the moment. He has to speed up the reloads. He's not a Hollywood passer. I don't want him to try and replicate, 2003 Paul Scholes. He's not about that. He's just got to be able to connect to Bruno, connect to the wing-backs, and he can do that. He's got the outlet ability to be able to do that. Raise the floor away from home. I think lots and lots of Premier League managers try and play a certain brand of football that's different home and away. And Anderson, style number 8, means that those games can maybe stop being a little bit of a coin flip and start being games that we're able to grind out when we go away to tough places, because he's got that sort of stoic kind of way of playing about him. It's like there's no flash to it, if you know what I mean. And also I think it's a bit of succession planning. Casemiro is an asset when his role is as clearly defined and suited to him as it is right now. But the train is in the station. He's got maybe this season, at most this and next. If we manage his minutes out and allow him to move when it suits everybody by having his replacement not just identified but agreed, I think that would be some of the best sort of succession planning United have done in a long time. Now, I think we have to be realistic about the price, because 100 million, you have to walk away if they won't move on that. He is a good player. He fits our system. The football case is strong to push hard, but the number has to come down significantly, 30-40% from what they're talking about now. The problem we've got is long contract with no clause and a rising stock and a recent England call-up. What I would not want to do is take this to the World Cup, because England are going to be one of the favourites for the World Cup. What you don't want to be doing is sitting around a table with that lunatic Forest owner and trying to convince him to sell a potential World Cup winner. With the English tax on top, he might actually be talking seriously about the 120 million. This negotiation is going to be an absolute grind, but the fit is still the fit. So we've got to try and find a way, or manufacture a way, to get this at a sensible price. Now, where does that leave Casemiro? Well, Casemiro's not the player he was 8-9 years ago, obviously. But he also doesn't need to be. He sets the tone quite well in games right now for Manchester United. He's shown that against Nottingham Forest. He handled it really well. I would keep his brief sewn up tight the way it is right now. Keep his legs fresh for the right sort of fights. Build around him, knowing that you've got an Elliot Anderson sort of character coming down the line. If Casemiro's what we've got right now, I think Anderson makes so much sense as the next one, if this is a true representation of what Amorim wants our football to be. Recruit players who fit what you're trying to do, not players that you just like their ability. Find the right players for the right system, and I think what Anderson is the right player in this system. We can see it. We can see why Casemiro is working, and you can see how Anderson would come in and just do the exact same thing. And that's powerful, I think. Casemiro made sure we didn't lose at the weekend with his performance. Anderson showed us why we should buy him. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What's the price you would go to? Would you pay 80, 85? Starts feeling a little bit too much, that, doesn't it, for someone who's had a breakout season, basically this season. Feels a little bit too giddy, that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments anyway, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.